got over a horrible, horrible cold. I'd like to call January 13th business meeting to order. I'd also like to ask Chief Duffy to lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Deanna, could you please do the roll call?
Catherine Carter, President.
Here.
Rebecca Moody, Vice President.
Here.
Denise Hall, Commissioner.
Here.
Ms. McNaney, Commissioner.
Here.
Gregory Mull, Commissioner.
Here.
Sandra Zidell, Township Manager.
Here.
Megan Weaver, Assistant Township Manager.
Here.
Lauren Gallagher, Township Solicitor.
Here.
Nicholas Cross, Township Engineer.
Here.
David Duffy, Chief of Police. Here. Brian Shapiro, Finance Director.
The hallway. Here.
David Conroy, Zoning Officer.
Thank you. I'd like to turn the meeting over to Sandra.
I'd like to do a quick recognition for Bob Hegedus for 25 years of his service to the township. He's not able to attend tonight, but Bob's had a long career with us, obviously 25 years. He started off, I believe, in our Public Works Department and has transitioned over to our wastewater department. And Bob is never seen without his crew. He has a very loyal crew of collections system employees that just absolutely adore working for him. He's a really forward-thinking boss, and he works really hard for our residents. His department's responsible for the collection system of all the wastewater, and he does an excellent job. I wish he was here, but I'm sure he'll watch the video. Congrats, Bob. Thanks for 25 years.
Congratulations. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Hall, Safety Liaison.
Thank you. As I'm sure everyone can tell, we have a couple police items of business this evening. But before we swear in 3 new police officers, which we're thrilled about, our Chief of Police has a presentation. And then our Deputy Chief is going to award some commendations. And then I'm going to share the bios of those 3 gentlemen who are about to be sworn in. So I'm going to hand the mic to the Chief next.
Thank you very much. So a couple of meetings ago, the leadership team of the wastewater treatment plant, including Bob, came up here and did a presentation at a public meeting about everything that they have going down at the plant and the technology that they're using and kind of an overall synopsis of all the work they do. And it was a lot. It was really impressive. I had been working on something for the police department, but they kind of set the bar higher. So I give the board weekly reports and try to put as much information in those reports about what's going on as possible, and then meet with my liaison on the board, Commissioner Hall, sometimes President Carter as well, and we go over in more detail what the police department's up to. And with all that, decided to try to put together in one document, which you can hold me to it, will take 10 minutes or less. So bear with me, please. This is basically the state of the police department right now. Like all township departments, the police department serves 17,223 residents, over 10,000 MERC employees, many other businesses, and 4 schools in 8 square miles with 85 miles of roadways. The department handles over 11,000 incidents per year, an average of 31 per day, including but not limited to over 180 arrests, 3,000 traffic stops, and 400 traffic crashes. Calls range from serious crimes and life-threatening emergencies to service calls like lost dogs and assisting motorists. Once we reach our authorized strength of sworn officers, the structure of the department will be as follows. 19 officers assigned to the patrol division, which includes 4 squads, a sergeant and 3 officers per squad, plus what will become 2 full-time traffic safety officers and 1 cover shift officer. Also within the patrol division are 2 canine teams that comprise the canine unit. Both dogs are trained for patrol, person and article searches, and suspect apprehension. Canine Fury is trained in explosives, and Canine Gunner is trained in drug detection. The canine unit is funded entirely by public donations. The detective division is staffed by a detective sergeant, 2 detectives, and a full-time crime prevention officer. In addition to working on serious and long-term investigations, The detectives and one patrol officer have advanced forensics training and comprise a 24/7 call-out team for crime scene processing. Our crime prevention officer teaches the DARE program, sponsors and participates in community events, and is the primary liaison between the police department, our senior living communities, schools, and daycares. He's a lead officer on juvenile-related investigations, and he also serves as the only pet detective in Montgomery County. Megan, if you want to do the slideshow, it should last longer than this speech, actually. The patrol and detective divisions are under the command of Deputy Chief Ted Kiola, who has over 25 years' experience in UGPD. The Administrative Services Division is comprised of the Administrative Office Manager, 2 full-time administrative assistants, and 1 part-time administrative assistant. This division manages thousands of sensitive documents that must be handled according to judicial procedures, laws, and regulations. The Administrative Office Manager, Julie Murphy, has over 34 years of experience with the police department. One officer is trained as a peer support officer and is a primary point of contact in the department for officers who want information and/or assistance for stress and emotional health-related matters. The police department works regularly with our Civil Service Commission during hiring and promotion processes. Both involve challenging written examinations and thorough interviews. Detailed background investigations, including polygraphs, are conducted for all new hires. Standards for both hiring and promotion are very high to make sure our residents are served by the best possible police officers and supervisors. The deputy chief oversees scheduling, which is optimized for the best delivery of service to our residents and efficient management of overtime. Another responsibility of the deputy chiefs is training. The training program from UGPD is robust and progressive and includes a thorough and immersive field training program. Other training includes, but is not limited to, annual bias-based police training, diversity and ethics courses, monthly case law updates, 4 firearms trainings and qualifications per year, annual response to resistance training, rapid response training, first aid and CPR training, and annual crisis response and mental health training. Officers also attend leadership schools, many types of technical and investigative courses, and other training that enhances services to our residents. In addition to our certified field training officers, we have several members of the department who are certified instructors in the following topics, which are taught in-house and sometimes to other departments. Standard field sobriety test, 2 officers. Firearms, 2 officers. Response to resistance and de-escalation, 3 officers. Taser, 1 officer. Rapid response, 2 officers who also train outside agencies as part of the county's active shooter program, as well as businesses that want their staff trained in how to handle possible threats at the workplace. Community outreach. We are active participants in the North Penn Police Athletic League, which hosts several community events each year, including Coffee with a Cop, reading books to children, sporting events, and more. Special Needs Coordinator. The officer assigned to this important task maintains our special needs registry and keeps in touch with the people in it. The officer maintains contacts and interacts with special needs students in our schools and represents us in the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics, which UGPD has participated in since 2008. Child seek checks. We have 2 certified child seek technicians who sponsor events, assist with ones in other locations, and are available by appointment for residents. Drug abuse resistance education. UGPD has taught the DARE program in our schools for over 25 years. Domestic violence advocate. An officer is assigned to keep in touch with our partner agencies like Laurel House and Victim Services and make sure victims of domestic violence have access to all available resources. Bike unit, 3 certified bike officers patrol on bikes as time permits and at our carnival and other township events. Motor unit, 3 certified officers periodically patrol on 2 police motorcycles, both of which were purchased with donated funds. C100 command post, UGPD maintains, with an officer assigned as coordinator, the multi-jurisdiction C100 command post, which is used for public events or emergencies in Upper Gwynedd and our partnering agencies' areas. It is also used by the crisis negotiations unit of the regional SWAT team. Public information officers. 2 officers are trained in media relations and public communications. They maintain our social media and handle other messaging to our community. They work directly with reporters as needed on announcements of arrests, emergencies, or other public notifications. Youth Aid Program. UGPD regularly refers juveniles to our Youth Aid panel whenever appropriate in lieu of criminal charges against persons under 18 years of age. Diverse staff. We have 3 female officers and officers with different cultural heritages that include but are not limited to Korean, Algerian, and Cambodian. Language skills among officers includes Korean, French, Berber, Arabic, Cambodian, Italian, and Spanish. Law enforcement partnerships. District Attorney's Drug Task Force. Officers have served as special county detectives and provide and receive assistance as needed on drug investigations. FBI Task Force. 1 officer is sworn as a Special Deputy U.S. Marshal and is assigned to the local FBI Task Force, providing help with their investigations and streamlining federal law enforcement assistance on UGPD cases as needed. Montgomery County District Attorney's Threat Assessment Group, or TAG. A detective has been specially trained and is now part of the newly formed Threat Assessment Group. The team gathers and evaluates intelligence information and acts on potential threats against elected officials, schools, and large public and private events. This group supports the new Threat Assessment Unit of the Montgomery County Detective Bureau. Montgomery County Major Incident Response Team. MIRT is comprised of approximately 100 police officers from around the county. Members are trained to assist with potential civil disobedience and to provide protection at large public gatherings. UGPD has 3 officers assigned to MIRT, including 2 on their bicycle response team. Montgomery County SWAT Central Region. UGPD has 2 members assigned to the team, 1 counter sniper and 1 entry team member. North Penn Area Crash Team. This team is comprised of several accident investigators from the region who assist each other and their departments in prosecutable and non-prosecutable crashes that result in death or serious bodily injury. UGPD has 2 certified accident reconstructionists assigned to the team, which share state-of-the-art technology, including crime scene mapping devices and drones to aid in their investigations. Pennsylvania Law Enforcement Accreditation, or PLEAC. PLEAC was created in 2001 by the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association. The program involves creating and maintaining professional standards and policies and then proving to an independent assessment team the standards are adhered to and practiced by the agency. Under the command of Chief Robert Freed in July of 2006, UGPD became the 31st PLEAC accredited department in the state. With over 1,200 Pennsylvania agencies eligible to participate, that placed UGPD in the top 2 percentile of professionally recognized police departments. UGPD has maintained the rigorous requirements of PLEAC and after several reaccreditations was in the inaugural group of departments that earned the title of Premier Agency. Having earned that distinction twice, UGPD remains in the top 2 percentile of professionally recognized law enforcement agencies in Pennsylvania. We are proud to work with our other outstanding township departments under the guidance and oversight of our dedicated Board of Commissioners and the excellent leadership of our Township Manager, Sandra Ziddell. Our mission is to perform police services in a highly professional and ethical manner in partnership with the community we serve and to whom we are accountable. Our core values are dedication, integrity, fairness, and courage, with integrity being our cornerstone value. Our motto is community first and is used as a guide for all our decisions, both operationally and administratively. As individuals and as a team, we will strive to earn our achievements and always be mindful to learn from our mistakes. And as we close in on our 75th anniversary in 2026, be assured UGPD will be stepping up community first to a whole nother level. Thank you. Turn this over to Deputy Chief Coyola for commendations.
Take note of that picture.
We didn't pick those pictures, TC.
Can I have Sergeant Turo and Gunner come to the front, please? Whereas the Upper Gwynedd Police K-9 Unit was created and launched in January of 2021. Since then, Sergeant Matt Toro and his partner Gunner and Officer Ed Tarter and his partner Fury have been deployed to numerous searches, public events, and public duties. Prior to the start of the unit, the Upper Gwynedd Police Department relied on the K-9 assistance from outside agencies, particularly Montgomery Township Police Department. Whereas on May the 14th, 2024, Montgomery Township Police did not have a K-9 on duty and requested Sergeant Toro and Gunner for a K-9 sniff for drugs on a vehicle stop. Gunner alerted to the presence of drugs in the car, and a subsequent search warrant yielded 104 bags of fentanyl-laced heroin, oxycodone pills, and other drug paraphernalia. If it were not for Sergeant Toro's dedication to the K-9 unit and the continuous training regimen required, this may not have been a successful outcome. Therefore, Sergeant Matt Toro and Gunner are formally recognized and commended for their dedication to professional K-9 services in Upper Gwynedd and beyond, and for their actions on this significant drug seizure and arrest. Presented with honor and respect on this 13th day of January 2025. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, you want to do it? I have Officer Abdenor Fahem come to the front, please. Whereas the Upper Gwynedd Township Police Department has been consistent in DUI enforcement efforts throughout the community. Officers using their training in both marked and semi-marked cars to conduct regular patrols as part of an ongoing effort to identify and apprehend drunk drivers. Whereas numerous DUI arrests were made in the past year. While all officers in the department were proactive in making these and other arrests, Officer Fahem made the most DUI arrests during this period. Officer Fahem's efforts in DUI enforcement and undoubtedly saved numerous lives. Therefore, Officer Abdenor Fahem is formally recognized and commended for his dedication to public safety and support of the mission of Upper Gwynedd Township Police Department this 13th day of January 2025. Presented with honor and respect by the Chief and I. Can I have Detective Sergeant Robert Pro, please, up front? Whereas on September the 7th, 2023, Detective Sergeant Robert Pro took a report of a missing 12-year-old juvenile. Due to the swift actions of Sergeant Pro and other officers, the child was located quickly, discovered to be in the presence of a 23-year-old male. The investigation revealed that the male had supplied the child with drugs with the hope of having sexual relations with the juvenile. The male was later arrested and charged with several crimes related to the incident. Whereas Sergeant Pro received consent from the suspect and the victim to view content on their cell phones, this information from the phones and other evidence led to over 24 different search warrants to include Facebook, Snapchat, Discord, and various phone providers. 5 additional adult suspects were identified as engaging in the juvenile in unlawful behavior. With the assistance from the Montgomery County Detective Bureau, the Department of Homeland Security, Mission Kids, and the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office, all the suspects were identified, arrested, and charged with several serious offenses. Therefore, Detective Sergeant Robert Pro is recognized for his actions in professionally handling the sensitive and complex investigation and arrests, as well as treating the victims and family with care and compassion, which improved the reputation of the department of our relationship with the community we serve. Presented with honor and respect this 13th day of January 2025. Congratulations, Detective Sergeant Pro. Good job, man.
You bring all three up.
Yeah. Can I please have Sergeant William Moriarty, Officers Montana Lightheart, and Officer Andrew Profit. Unfortunately, Andrew Profit, I don't think is here. Correct? He's at training. Whereas on January the 2nd, 2024 at 09:33 hours, Sergeant William Moriarty and Officers Montana Lightheart and Andrew Profit responded to a house on Oxford Circle for a reported suicidal person. Upon arrival, they encountered a 49-year-old male who had cut one of his wrists. The subject was in the bedroom and was holding a knife. He was agitated and uncooperative with the officers. Whereas, while Sergeant Moriarty secured the scene and kept others in their residence away, Officers Lightheart and Profit patiently talked the male and eventually were able to calm him down and convince him to drop the knife. The subject was then treated by EMS and agreed to treatment at a mental health facility. Therefore, Sergeant Moriarty and Officers Lightheart and Profit are formally recognized and commended for the care and patience they displayed in handling this dangerous situation and getting a person the help they needed without any further harm to himself or others. Presented with honor and respect this 13th day of January 2025. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my God. And can I have Detective Sergeant Robert Pro please come to the front? So as the chief stated in his State of the Union, and it did run under 10 minutes, Chief, so I give you credit. So good job. He said that we qualify 4 times a year. I'm not reading. We qualify 4 times a year with our service pistol. And we tally the points up, arrange guys tally the points up. We do dynamic shooting, moving targets. And Detective Sergeant Pro scored the highest out of everybody in the department. So he will be receiving the 2024 Top Gun Award. Congratulations, Detective Sergeant Pro. I know he doesn't look like he shoots, but he's a good shot. All right, our last award and our most prestigious award. Can I please have Detective Jonathan Gill come to the front? I'm freestyling this one.
Working on this.
I was just told minutes ago. No. So this award is given to the Officer of the Year. This award is voted on by his peers. The chief and I do not have a vote in this. And for this year, for 2024, Officer Jonathan Gill is named Officer of the Year. And he was nominated by his fellow officers for report and case preparation. He's in the detective unit. He's handled numerous complex cases that have been solved successfully and with successful prosecution. Serious cases that he's handled and dedication to the department. John wears many hats in this department and continues to do a very good job in everything that he sets his mind to. Oh, correct. And this is the second time that Detective Jonathan Gill is receiving this award. Congratulations. Yep.
Look good while they do that.
You want me to put up there?
I'm going to bring back my seat with me. Thank you very much. We turn it back over to you.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to share some background information about our 3 brand new officers, which Judge Leonard is going to swear in as soon as I'm done. The first is Chase Koffel. Mr. Koffel graduated from Perkiomen Valley High School in 2015 and Centenary University in 2019 with a bachelor's degree in history and secondary education. After graduation, Mr. Koffel began working at the Perkiomen School as an admissions office and summer program coordinator. Mr. Koffel was able to complete a portion of his field training before being sent to the Allentown Police Academy in July. He graduated from the academy in December, and his instructors spoke very highly of both his performance and his character. Our second police officer, James Coughlin, has several family members who were or are members of the Philadelphia Police Department. He is a graduate of Father Judge High School. Mr. Coughlin earned an associate's degree in criminal justice from Bucks County Community College, graduating with honors. Mr. Coughlin graduated from the Temple University Police Academy in October of 2023. He worked as a police officer with the Thomas Jefferson University Health System from March of 2023 until he was hired by Upper Gwynedd Township in December. And our third police officer, Mr. Del Giudice, no, close enough. All right, thank you. Mr. Del Giudice is currently a resident of Philadelphia, where he has been serving as a police officer since March of 2019. Mr. Del Giudice graduated from Upper Marion High School in June of 2008. He attended Montgomery County Community College and Millersville University. After graduating from the Philadelphia Police Academy, he has received significant training in narcotics investigations. In addition to uniform patrol duties in districts, Mr. Del Giudice has served in a tactical plainclothes tactical squad. During their interviews, all three of these candidates displayed significant knowledge of Upper Gwynedd Township. They articulated their reasons for wanting to work in our community and presented themselves as a good fit for the culture of excellence of the township and the community first motto of the police department. Welcome. Please join Judge Leonard.
Chief Duffy, do they want to come up with their families to take a picture? We can get out the way.
Oh, maybe.
Congratulations.
Say it. Tell Judith. My best friend. Flo. Yeah. Rebecca?
Please have a good night. Oh, you want to do a picture? Yeah, sure.
We can get out of the way.
Families want to take a picture? You guys want to take a picture with your family real quick behind this field? Yeah. Did you keep taking it? No, go ahead. Go ahead. Take a picture with family. Next. All right. And right.
I made it into the chair. Graceful fall.
Oh, yeah. Down the seat. Got it? Okay.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. Do you want to?
Okay, yeah.
Right.
We're up to number 7, the CPRO's presentation by Mr. Peter Simone.
Great. Good evening. Thanks very much for your time. Tonight, I'm going to give you a brief presentation of the comprehensive recreation park and open space plan that we've been working with you on for the past year, basically. It's been an 11-month process. We've had a number of committee meetings, 4 public meetings. It's our second meeting with the Board of Commissioners. We had a very successful public opinion survey. We had over 500 responses. We conducted 9 key person or agency interviews. And then the draft plan was available for a couple of months on your website, and we got 12 sets of comments from community members. The project committee is listed here. We couldn't have done this work without them because, excuse me, they gave us a lot of detailed information, as did township staff, township manager, director of Parks and Rec, and the board members. We've spoken to all of you individually, which is really helpful to this work. In terms of summary findings, you didn't need to hire us to tell you that you have an excellent park and recreation system. And our job was to suggest ways maybe to make it better. You have exceptional programming and staff. You're one of the leaders in the region, which I think you're aware of. You have excellent maintenance and maintenance personnel. You've got a couple of facilities, the pool and the castle playground, that are iconic in the region. I mean, doing other work in other municipalities, we've heard about the pool for many years. So that's a very well-loved facility, of course. And as far as we can see, you get excellent support from the commissioners and residents. People they really care about this system. So the plan is aspirational, and some of the elements that we've suggested in it are building the regional and local trail connections, which you've planned for very well. Excuse me. Improving the existing parks and open space facilities, creating new parks where you can. I think there's some opportunities. Protecting existing facilities, permanently protecting existing facilities, and providing more opportunities for year-round programming. In terms of a benchmark, we compare all the work that we do. We compare communities we're working with other communities that are similar in size. And here we compared Upper Gwynedd to Towmenson, Hatfield, White Marsh, Plymouth, and Doylestown, all which have about the same population. And based upon, and this is for active recreational facilities. So based on your 5 parks and 126 acres, you can see some of the deficits listed here in terms of that benchmarking. And this doesn't mean that your system is wrong or even is in a deficit. It's just a way to measure yourself against other communities. So you see how your facilities compare to other facilities. And you see on the right-hand column, we show a deficit of 8 baseball, softball fields. And the reason we do that is the Norgwin fields are not permanently protected. It's a handshake deal. It's worked well for many years. But what we try to do in this is only show permanently protected facilities. So if we count those, your deficit goes from 8 to 3. So, generally, I think you're doing well. You could improve, certainly, and we've made some suggestions. I mentioned you're a regional leader in programming. If you look at your newsletter out in the lobby, it's filled, I don't know how many pages, with programming that folks can sign up for. So that's great. And the programs, I guess most of them or all of them operate at a profit, which helps to defray some of the costs for running other parts of your Parks and Rec program. And when we work in other places, again, we hear about the great programming here. So it's known, and I think Sarah has told us that half of your participation is from residents who don't live in the township, which is fine because people don't care about boundaries and sure contributing to the regional recreation economy, if I want to put it that way. So in terms of the big picture recommendations, we've recommended some planning studies. The Norgwin pool will be soon at the end of its useful life when you can keep repairing it. So we've suggested to do a pool master plan study so you can plan for that now and anticipate the costs because that's a great facility. The playground master plan, that's, again, has a lifespan. It's starting to deteriorate. And I think Sarah and the department have already started taking some steps towards that plan and replacing that playground. conducting a feasibility study for an indoor recreation building, not a community center, just an indoor recreation building. So some of that great programming you have can continue into the cold months. There's a lot of interest in establishing a Veterans Memorial Park. We've also suggested you do a little detailed planning for each satellite park as those come into your detailed recommendations. Those satellite park plans are in the future. We haven't recommended those in terms of implementation priority right away. So it might be this board, it might be a new board who takes that step. And also doing a more detailed plan for some of the improvements here at Parkside Place. In terms of the parks, we've made some recommendations for improvements at all of them. And they're pretty minimal, we think. They're with a light hand because those parks are smaller. Probably the biggest one is Garfield, where you could have the most new facilities or upgraded facilities. In terms of Park Place, we suggested things like a new bathroom at the north end of the park, small one, a third basketball court, which again, I think Sarah Priebus is already working towards, so she can better accommodate the huge basketball program you have in the warm months, some new pavilions, nature trails, etc. So again, Parkside Place is a great facility, but these are some things that we think could make it a little better. In terms of open space preservation, maintain an inventory of some of the sites you have. You have a number of sites that really aren't suited for anything active, but they do have environmental value in terms of vegetation, absorbing stormwater, and you can't just let those sites sit fallow. You have to actively manage them. Otherwise, they become filled with invasive plants and they lose some of their ecological value. So starting to do that. I mentioned the Norgood baseball fields. Right now, it's a handshake deal. It's worked well, but we suggest you work with the school district and PICO to permanently preserve that ground. So you're not subject to a whim or a change of personnel at one of those institutions, and you might lose that facility. We're not suggesting it will, but we think certainly better be safe than sorry. Prioritize some of the stormwater improvements in the parks. You have a MS4 plan, and there's no MS4 money really available, but you can use park improvement money to do some of these stormwater improvements, and a couple of them are listed there. And also consider the adoption of official map, which can identify potential open space, and also your trail plan, which puts you in better stead for a grant. And we've used the official map in some municipalities where, because of circumstances, the private sector builds a facility which is open to the public. So we think it's a good tool to consider. It doesn't obligate you to do anything, but it gives you the opportunity to do some things. In terms of connectivity, I won't read all this, but you've got your Powerline Trail and Regional Liberty Bell Trail studies completed. Those are great regional trails, but the scope of work asked us to look at local trails. So if you're a resident, you don't have to put your bike in the car and go to where you can get on a regional trail. So we've made some suggestions for the township and even for the borough, some of those improvements where they could take place through the form of sharrows and some online bike paths. After the draft plan was out, we had some suggestions for improvements, and you can see the ones that we've changed are in color here. But the overall system, we think, is one that is exciting. It's going to let your residents go through places, connect to, for example, along Morris Road, the Kriebel Trail over in Towmenson. It gets people to Fisher's Park, which is your most heavily visited non-township park by your residents. So, and we've suggested that the priority should be working with your, working to get your regional trails built. And there may be opportunities. Some of the local trails are low-hanging fruit, meaning they're sharrows and things that are not very expensive to do. So you may implement those too as you move forward. In terms of recreational programming, mentioned a secure, consistent indoor recreational space, which is a reason to do a feasibility study for a small recreation building. Expand the programming as those facilities get upgraded in your smaller parks. Keep fostering the relationship with the school district and adjacent municipalities. Similarly, in Towmenson, they have the TYA, and probably half of the kids in the TYA don't live in that township. So, I mean, there's already a good amount regional cooperation going on. So the key is to recognize it and to make sure you nurture that because it's great. And continue with your great recreational programming. A few other things, increased pavilion rental availability, and we've suggested a couple of new pavilions for Parkside Place. We've seen a lot of participation and a lot of interest in your parks, which I mentioned. So establish a volunteer program so that when people show up and they want to help out, you know what they're going to do. And that's a big task, but it's an important one because it'll generate also more support for your system to spend money on the things you have to spend in your park. So we think that's important. Help Sarah out with an administrative office support person and continue to encourage educational opportunities for your staff. Right now, you have a great maintenance crew, but they're my age or older, and they're going to retire soon, and they've got a lot of knowledge in their head. So we just have suggested that you formalize that so you don't lose that institutional knowledge when these folks retire, because it's very important. They do a great job. Also, consider solutions that reduce your maintenance, things like going to meadows in some parks or having simple things like bigger trash cans, which our recreational consultant, Derek DeRica from Upper Dublin suggested, so you're not out there every day. So those things can happen over time to reduce that maintenance time. You've got some dedicated park operation space that's being built in the form of a new pole building that's moving forward. Don't let that bleed into another program so your Parks and Rec operations get shortchanged in terms of what they need. That happens in a lot of places. And also, I mentioned focusing on natural resource management. Those parcels that aren't parks, make sure you start to manage those. So in terms of our implementation, the Norgwin Pool facility is, we think, a big one, and these are high short-term priority, 1 to 5 years. That's very important. The playground master plan is important. The third basketball court I mentioned, Sarah's already working on. Documenting your maintenance activities, which I just mentioned. Increasing pavilion rental availability. Helping with administrative support. Developing the regional trails. Establish township-wide volunteer program. Some nature trails here at Parkside Place would be very easy to do. They don't have to be handicap accessible. They could be basically mulch trails through some of your wooded area in the northeast part of the park, which we think would be great. Do that indoor recreational feasibility study and permanently preserve the Norwood fields, and also maintain that maintenance space for Parks and Rec. So the next steps are for the board, if it so pleases you, to adopt this plan. Start with the low cost recommendations, certainly to keep things moving. Aggressively seek grants. Pennsylvania is a great environment for obtaining grants. You just have to be aggressive and consistent and communicate well with the grant agencies. The community needs to continue to support our parks to make sure they come in front of you, the board, and say, this is important to us. And everywhere we work, really, parks is sort of the heart and soul of people's interests, we think, because this is where their kids meet other kids and they meet other kids' parents. So it's really important, we think. And continue to position Parks and Rec, not just as, isn't it great that Johnny or Sarah can play softball? It's a health benefit, spiritual benefit, social property value, and economic benefit. So keep that in mind as you move forward with this, because there are more benefits than just the obvious ones with recreation. So that's a really quick summary of the plan, and appreciate your time and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Lauren, were there any executive?
Excuse me. Yes, the board met in executive session on December the 19th to discuss matters of personnel. The board met in executive session earlier this evening to discuss matters of personnel.
Thank you. No one signed up for public comment? Any public comments? Come up.
Hi, William Jackson. I'm a Upper Gwynedd resident. I'm here tonight both as a resident and as the leader of Bike North Penn. We've reviewed the draft report for the presentation that was just made, as well as the recommendations, and firmly behind just about everything that's in there. I want to thank the residents who were part of the commission on that, and the members of the township administration who participated. The key thing I want to say is that it really factors in not just Upper Gwynedd itself, but the connectivity to the surrounding municipalities. If you look in there with the bike trails and the sharrows and the bike lanes, it addresses connectivity to Talminson, North Wales Borough, Lansdale Borough, every possible way. And that's really something that we're trying to encourage across all municipalities, and not just to think about how you're going to use this not just as recreation, but as transportation. And I think it really starts to achieve that. So thank you, and hope it gets approved.
Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to David Conroy, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you very much. Honestly, is pretty much status quo over the last month with the three projects that are listed here. Really haven't heard anything about 1327 East Prospect Ave. We're just waiting on revised plans, as mentioned last month. 1113 Church Street, the zoning hearing board application was continued to later this month, the last Tuesday of January. So that's still moving forward as of right now. And then 1500 Pembroke Parkway, the Walters Group, they just submitted their revised land development plans late last week. So our consultants are going to take a look at it and get review letters out within the next week or two. That's really it.
Thank you. Next up, Nick, engineering report.
Thank you. So all I wanted to talk about this month was give an update on the 2025 road program. We're finalizing the bid package for that with the work that's going to be completed or that we're going to be putting out to bid is the repaving of Church Road from Sumney Town Pike to Township Line, ADA ramp, curb, and sidewalk improvements in the Rexdale neighborhood, repaving within the Rexdale neighborhood, and then ADA ramp, curb, and sidewalk improvements within the East Weeds Road Estates. So we'll be putting all of that out to bid, and then hopefully, if the numbers come in right, we'll be doing all of that work for this year. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Church Road from Sumney Town Pike down toward the Pembroke station, like down toward where the township line is with Lansdale.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Now we're up to number 12. I'd like to make a motion to approve the staff reports. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Yeah.
Bill Jackson again, Upper Gwynedd resident. In regards to the continuation for Church Street,
Under the staff reports?
well, it's under the zoning report.
So you're going back to the zoning,
Well, the
number 10.
zoning report's on.
Go ahead, we were on 12.
I was just wondering, I read the lengthy submission from the people who own the property, but I haven't had time to dig into the hows and whats of the township. Is there an ordinance in the township that prohibits short-term rentals? There is. Okay. All right. So this is just to get an exemption, that ordinance. Okay. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Number 13, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Commissioner minute meetings from December 9th, 2024. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Jonathan West as Chair of the Environmental Advisory Council. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any board comments? I'm sorry, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Conrad Siegel as the Township Actuary for the Police Pension and Viva Plans. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 16, motion, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the Township Manager to sign all paperwork to transition the assets from One America Financial and Mission Square to Empower. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now I'll turn the meeting over to Rebecca Moody, our Vice President, Zoning Planning.
Thank you, President Carter. On number 17, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 01-2025 to approve the fee schedule update.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
And lastly, number 18, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 02-2025 for the saldo fee schedule update.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Denise Hall, Public Safety.
Thank you. The public safety portion will continue to be everything coming up police. The first motion under public safety is a conditional offer of employment to a candidate for replacement of a police officer. I'd like to make a motion to ratify the conditional offer of employment to a candidate for the replacement of a police officer.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, excuse me, motion passes unanimously.
The next item was already the presentation which our chief gave at the beginning of the night. The next motion is related to 4 police in-car computers. These were budgeted, and we are approving that this evening. Motion to approve the purchase of 4 police in-car computers in the amount of $27,235.65.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do a roll call?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Motion passes unanimously.
The next 2 items, also budgeted, are regarding 2 replacement patrol vehicles, which we are, through CoStars, able to purchase. And then, because these are police vehicles, we can't just purchase new cars. We also have to upfit them to become police vehicles. So my first motion is to approve the purchase of 2 replacement patrol vehicles through CoStar's vendor, New Holland Ford, in the amount of $96,740.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do the roll call? Oh, I'm sorry. Who?
To come up to the
You have to come up to the microphone.
All right, William Jackson again. Is the cost of the computer that were in the separate line item, is that in addition to the cost of the cars, or do the new cars come with computers?
It's an
no.
upfit cost,
Got it.
car, and then all the upfit.
Okay. So will there be additional computers for these additional cars, or were the computers just for existing vehicles?
The cost in the agenda is the all-in cost of all the equipment to upfit the vehicles.
Right, but you got four computers and 2 cars.
That's for all of the computers. That's part of all the computers and all the cars,
Oh, I
not just these. We look at it like, oh, we're going to upgrade all the computers and all the cars, or this is the maintenance we need on all of them,
Yeah.
separate from the 2 vehicles which we are purchasing and then upfitting.
Okay, so one more question then. The 4 computers for existing cars, or do the 4 computers cover these 2 new cars also? Will there be 2 more
They
computers
may.
coming?
No.
Thank you.
We'll make sure we verify that with Chief Duffy. Deanna, can you please do the roll call at this time?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney.
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Thank you.
And then
Motion passes unanimously.
oh, sorry. I'm going to jump on that. And then the last motion, the motion to approve the upfitting of the 2 new patrol vehicles through CoStar vendor Hayden Marriott in the amount of $26,430.20.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do a roll call, please?
President Carter,
Aye.
President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney.
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Motion passes unanimously. Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Greg Mull, Public Works, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, President Carter. I would like to, item number 24 on the agenda, I would like to make a motion to approve the Comprehensive Recreation Parks and Open Space Plan as presented.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. Any board comments?
I have a comment. Just wanted to say thank you to all the committees and the staff and the community and everybody that made a comment, everybody that submitted a question and completed the survey, and just everybody that attended all the meetings. It was a long and comprehensive process, and it was worth it. And so just want to say thank you, and especially to Peter Simone for everything that we did to get here. So thank you.
Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 25 on the agenda, I'm making a motion to authorize the advertisement of the bid for the 2025 roads program. That's to mill and overlay various roads in the amount of $967,000, and it is budgeted. Do I have, sorry.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item 26, I'm making a motion to approve the winter services agreement with Montgomery County for snow removal services.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Finally, President Carter, item number 27, I'm making a motion to approve the contract with Cedar Brook Country Club for the annual golf outing to be held on April 28th, 2025.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Now under wastewater treatment, I'd like to make a motion to ratify the Merck pump station upgrades. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Motion passed. I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second. Okay, I'm all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 29, I'd like to make a motion to approve the hiring of a mirror drill to construct 2 monitoring wells per our engineer specifications in the amount of $11,825. Can I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to approve manhole linings and chimney seals by CoStar's vendor Advanced Rehabilitation Technology in the amount of $125,000. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the advertisements of the 2025 to 2028 sludge hauling and disposal bid for the wastewater treatment plant. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? Do we have any public comments? Yes.
William Jackson again. Where does the sludge go?
Good question. It gets hauled almost every day to Telemenson is actually where the current vendor takes it. So it's up to the person that wins the bid to determine appropriate, I can't think of the right word, disposal site. So there's certain regulations within the contract, like they have to be DEP approved and permitted. Certain plants are able to take that sludge and convert it to another product. It depends on the plant. Like there's steam plants, they make patties, they make all kinds of stuff out of the sludge.
As far as you know, it doesn't get spread on farm fields.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that for you, but I can get back to you with that question.
There have been some recent articles about that where
Yeah.
some of the forever chemicals are now showing up in crops, in livestock, and in the wells of the farmers where that stuff has been spread. So
I mean, it's getting hauled to a treatment facility from us, but what happens to it after that, I don't know. So I'll find out and let you know, Bill.
okay, thank you.
I was going to say, we don't spread it.
We don't.
Yeah.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 32, I'd like to make a motion to approve cleaning and televising the sanitary sewer mains and laterals in the southwest and east drainage areas by CoStar's vendor Utility Services Group in the amount of $226,950. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to approve the January 2025 open invoices. Can I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you please do the roll call?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney. Aye. Commissioner Mall.
Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to make a motion to approve the January 2025 paid invoices. Can I have a second?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you please do the roll call?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney. Aye. Commissioner Mall.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. And at this time, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and this meeting is adjourned.